Alright guys, Sunday afternoon, and just want to talk about how people perceive you. The reason I'm bringing this up is if you're dating somebody from the Philippines or going to get married to somebody from the Philippines or whatever, there's a lot of people out there with some really stereotypical views, and in all honesty, who cares what they think? I find a lot of the people that complain or whine about it are coming out, been in a bad relationship in the sense that they married a woman from the Philippines, but a lot of these women, I can tell you before they even get married, that their relationship's going to fail. A lot of the women they choose are often not from the right backgrounds, but often the guys aren't the best either. So, you know, when a guy goes, I'm on marriage number 4 or whatever, and still hasn't looked in the mirror to see if there's an issue there, then obviously they've already set themselves on a path for destruction. But you'll also get people who say, oh, you know, somebody is marrying you because they want a visa, well, you can't get a woman in your own country, all this sort of stuff. My answer to all of this is very simple. It's none of their business. It's like people like to try and bait me into things, and I'll be honest with you, I can't be bothered with it. I'm too busy to care what other people think. But on top of that, you have to ask, why are they so concerned about what you are doing? Why are they wanting in on what you're doing? Some guys have already mentioned about taking your partner back to America or whatever in the comments. I'll let you into a little thing relating to this has happened in Spain, this has happened in the US, and this has happened in the UK from different people I know. Because one of the things I do tell people to do if they are going overseas is explain to your wife what other Filipinos get up to. It's not all Filipinos, I'll tell you that now. It's normally the 40-somethings that have divorced their husbands already, and they'll sit there trying to disrupt and destroy your relationship because they're happiest with the crab mentality, which is bring everybody down to their level. They're divorced, so your wife should divorce you. You're entitled to this. File for this. You're getting, and I mentioned this already about abuse, because they'll say, oh, emotional abuse, because emotional and psychological abuse is very hard to prove. Where it's physical abuse, then obviously it's a lot more obvious with medical records, etc. So they know how to play the game. And this is why I brought it up already, and this is why I'm putting it in the video, is that I know the guys that these women were married to, and how this all come about from prior knowledge from the women that they were talking to. They were other Filipinos. And they already know the system. They know it inside out, because they're trying to get as much out of the guys as possible. Not for themselves. Well, sorry, it is for themselves, because to make them feel better about themselves, because they've destroyed your marriage. How dare you be happily married? How dare you be content? When they divorced their husbands for the money. You know, then the biggest justification is actually getting other people the same. It's a bit like in my corporate world, where I find if I've got one idiot in charge, I've got another 5 idiots that he's employed around them, because between 5 idiots you don't know which one's the most dumb. So you end up with having to deal with a few people rather than one, because you surround yourself with people that make you look better, and that's what corporations do. Well, not all corporations, I do want to stress that, but a few places I have been have had that environment. These older generation Filipinos, there are bunches of them, and you just got to be careful. And this is what I'm saying, if you are going to go abroad and take your partner abroad, get your partner familiar with what they get up to. Explain to them. They're going to ask, what does your husband do? What's your income? What house have you got? You can have a bigger house. You can have all the stuff that they try and use as a bit of an arsenal to play your wife off you. And once they're familiar with it, the funny thing is, the women I know and their husbands, because I've been in the Philippines, so in and out for about a decade now, their wives have messaged me laughing at the stuff I told them, because these women have done exactly that. These women are like fake Prada handbags, comparing the cars, all the usual crap. And then they're going, oh, your husband's job's not so good. Maybe you could get a better husband. Blah, blah, blah. You know, and you're just like, once you put the whole point there where you stress it, they're not trying to make you happy. They're trying to make themselves happy with your destruction. Because the whole concept is, if your relationships failed, then their destruction of their own relationship was fine. They've got someone else to hang around with that's a complete and utter whatever. That's the whole point of it. It's not about you being better off or anything else. It's to make them feel better about themselves. It's crab mentality, nothing more. Dragging you down to their level. But I will also say, though, there's very, very few of our circle that are divorced. Very, very few. And we've got quite a lot of friends. And there's very, very few who are divorced. Many are overseas. So the point where it's a major threat, this is why I do stress about meeting the right woman, taking your time, getting them from the right background, etc., etc. It's making sure there is nothing that is going to destroy that relationship. And it's not about... It's not like buying somebody from a petting zoo or something. It's not. That's not the way I'm bringing this on. I'm actually trying to explain that when you get married, it should be a commitment for life if you're going to go down that route. So the point being is, when you're in the West and you met your first partner, and maybe you got married before, you didn't do it in an instant. You took time to get to that commitment. Many guys will meet somebody online, come over to the Philippines, marry within a few weeks, and then talking about immigration straight away. Do not recommend any of that at all. Take your time. Now, myself, you may call me a hypocrite because I did get married within a few weeks. Well, sorry, a couple of months. But the point being is, we moved to the Philippines, we stayed here for a long time, and only recently moved to Europe. But the difference with our relationship is, I had no interest in a relationship when I met my wife. I wasn't even looking for a relationship at all. It was just all very random. But ultimately, we just took things as they come along. We were talking for over 9 months before I even met my wife, because it was just day-to-day stuff. We weren't even like looking at a relationship, because my wife has also come out of a long-term relationship, so we were just chatting. And that's the thing, make it natural, and natural stuff that can't be forced. You just got to take your time, meet the right person. If not the right person, meet someone else. If you're coming over to the Philippines for a trip, take your time. Somebody asked me, where should they stay? Depends if you're meeting people online or not, and I've already set things up. I do recommend, for example, if I was in Minglanilla, and you're over here meeting somebody for a month, my apartments are now fully booked, but Tubod Flowing Waters is quite good. I stopped up there my first trip. There's Ruby Cave this way as well. There's a few resorts around, and they're reasonably priced. Probably the other thing, remember, after a lot of these, after 10 days, they also give you a discount. So ask for the discount. Can be about 10%. Everything's negotiable. But yeah, I just want to bring that up because I do think it's important, if you're going to get into a relationship, to take your time. Let things develop. There is no rush. It's more important to be in the right relationship. Why spend 2 months looking for somebody that you're going to spend the next 20 years with? Why not spend 6 months, a year? And even if you don't meet somebody that's right, you'd have definitely met a lot of other people that would have put you on the right path for what you want in life. It takes time. Thanks for watching.